Chapter 72, Seizing Foundation. The middle-aged man looked around for a bit, then muttered, "This place is indeed strange. 2 years ago, there was a sudden burst of spiritual energy which attracted these beasts. Since then, waves of spiritual energy have been sent out from around here. That is what attracts the beasts." The youth's eyes suddenly lit up. He said, "Elder Marshal brother, could there be a treasure here?" The middle chuckled and said, "There were some elders that also thought so, but after searching for a while, they determined that the release of spiritual energy was a natural occurrence." The youth sighed in disappointment and said, "That is unfortunate. If only there really was a treasure here." The middle-aged man let out a laugh and said, "It's getting late. I'll catch a strong crystal spirit beast, then we can go back." With that, the middle-aged man spread out his divine sense and found 7 to 8 crystal spirit beasts and began to observe them. Just at that moment, all of the beasts that were cultivating suddenly started to move, as if something startled them. Some even began to growl. Gradually, the number of growls began to increase until all of the beasts were roaring. Their roars were directed at a vegetation-filled cliff. The middle-aged man was stunned. Before he was able to call his fellow disciples to quickly leave the area, a huge divine sense swept past them. The middle-aged man's face changed greatly. Even with his 12th layer cultivation level, he felt completely powerless under this divine sense. The girl named Suze, who was next to the middle-aged man, face turned pale. The flying sword under her feet flashed and fell to the ground. The girl and the youth hugging her also fell to the ground. The flying sword under the middle-aged man also faltered, and he had to use all of his power to maintain flight. He took a step and grabbed the 2 falling people before landing on the ground. Just this simple action caused him to be drenched in sweat. After he landed, he quickly clasped his hands and said, "Junior is Xuan Dao Sek's disciple, Li Hai. I didn't know Senior was cultivating here. Please forgive us." The girl named Su also noticed that divine sense. It caused her to lose control of her flying sword. She respectfully said, "Junior is Xuan Dao Sek's disciple Su Fei." The youth was so scared that there wasn't any trace of blood on his face. He stood there, clenching the girl's clothes, not daring to speak. All of the beasts also felt chills when the divine sense spread across them. All of them revealed looks of shock and fear. They lied on the ground, not daring to move. Xuan Dao Sect, a very old voice echoed from the surroundings. It was hard to tell whether the voice was happy or angry. The middle-aged man groaned. If he was by himself, he could have just escaped when he found that something was off. But now, with a junior sister and a little junior brother here, if he were to run away, then their masters would definitely hold him accountable. He could only hope that, because the Xuan Dao sect was so close and that they hadn't done anything to offend the senior yet, the senior will not do anything. After the senior said that phrase, he began to think. The middle-aged man clenched his teeth and decided that his life was more important. If the senior started to act with killing intent, then he was going to save himself first. Su Fei's forehead was covered in beads of sweat. She got very nervous when she saw her 3rd elder brother, who was always calm, scared pale. She hesitated for a while, then said, "Senior, Junior hasn't done anything to offend you. You." Before she could finish speaking, the old voice let out a surprised sound and said, "You said your name is Su." The girl was stunned. She respectfully answered, "Disciple is named Su." The voice became silent again. After a long time, the voice let out a sigh and said, "You can leave." With that, there was a sudden change in the sky, as if there was an invisible hand that waved in the air. The 3 were pushed far away by an unstoppable wind. The middle-aged man felt even more horrified. Just at that moment, he felt like his entire body was imprisoned. If this senior wanted to kill him, he wouldn't even be able to react. Out of fear, he immediately grabbed his junior brother and sister and rushed away as fast as possible without a word when the restricting force around them was gone. He was afraid that the senior would change their mind, so he used all of his strength to get away. After the 3 left, the cliff covered with vegetation started to shake until all of the vegetation fell off, revealing a dark cave. A young male with hair all the way to his waist slowly walked out. His face was white and his eyes sparkled. The moment he walked out of the cave, all of the wild beasts started to whine. Their eyes begged for mercy. The long-haired youth was about 20 years old. His gaze was cold as he looked at all of the beasts. He remained silent as he looked toward the Hengyue mountain with regret in his heart. He was Wang Lin, who had been in closed-door cultivation for 4 years. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He muttered to himself, "I have reached the peak of qi condensation a long time ago, but reaching foundation building is simply too hard. I have already tried it many times, but am still unable to break through. Sidhu, will the method you mentioned really help me reach foundation building faster?" "Yes, have you decided to use my method?" Sidhu Nan let out a proud smile. "I told you before, while reaching the foundation building stage is hard, if you use my method, it will succeed for sure." A cold light flashed through Wang Lin's eyes. He said, "But I can't even beat someone at the foundation building stage. How could I catch one alive?" Sidhu Nan let out a laugh and said, "You can rest assured because you have me here. This time, in order to help you reach foundation building, I'll take another risk and use my technique again. As long as you can find me an opening, I can help you restrain the person. You better find someone who has just reached foundation building so I won't have to waste too much essence." Wang Lin pondered for a while, then let out a sigh. He wryly smiled. "Sidhu, this foundation stealing is very vicious. Whoever I steal from will surely die, so let's wait and see first." Sidhu Nan said, with discontent, I have told you countless times that in the world of cultivation, the strong prey on the weak. Killing others for your own benefit is completely normal. With your current merciful nature, how long will it take you reach spirit transformation? HMPH, if you don't want to use my method, you can also go look for wood element. If you can fill the heaven-defying bead with wood element, the upgrade should give you enough spiritual energy to reach foundation building. If you won't do either of those, and don't have a nascent soul cultivator to help you, don't even think about reaching foundation building." Wang Lin pondered for a while, then said, "I wonder how other people reach foundation building." Sidhu Nan grunted and said, "It's simple. If they have a sect, then a nascent soul cultivator uses their own cultivation to help the disciple reach foundation building. If I still had my body, I could do the same and help you. In my home country, the status of a nascent soul cultivator is like that of a core formation cultivator here. Although there aren't too many, there are enough to help the disciples to reach foundation building."